Hello, welcome to today's video. It's a beautiful day outside and we're going to show you how to take care of a Venus flytrap. So, a Venus flytrap is a carnivorous plant. There's many types of carnivorous plants such as pitcher plants and of course the Venus flytrap, sundews, and also butterworts. But there's a few more that are not quite as popular as these mainstream ones. Carnivorous plants are a very fun pet to take care of. They might be a plant, but they could also be taken care of as a pet. So I think they're really cool and really neat how they eat bugs. That is why they're called carnivorous, because they're carnivores. Let's get right into it. So this is the Venus flytrap I currently have. It's a beautiful Venus flytrap, and it's pretty nice and bright, wide petals, and it's pretty cool. But we're going to be showing you how I take care of my Venus flytrap, watering schedules and what I do with it, and how to keep yours healthy and how yours can look like mine. Alright, so let me just get a good angle on it. Okay, there. That's a good picture. So, first you need to know what a Venus how much water and sunlight a Venus flytrap wants. That is one of the most important things. And how much sunlight should a Venus flytrap get? Well, a Venus flytrap should be in full sunlight pretty much all day, 7 hours at least every day. And this will help it because this plant grows in very bright places and grows right outside. And so you should definitely be aware of how much sunlight it needs to get. Don't put it in a windowsill because that is highly not good for your Venus flytrap and it will most likely not survive. So make sure you're keeping it all the way outside in full sunlight and make sure you're keeping healthy. The next thing is watering. As you can see, right here, I actually have a tray under it that I fill with water every once in a while, every 1 or 2 days. And this is optional. You don't have to tray water it, but I like tray watering it personally because tray watering it just makes it so it's less manual and it can do it more by itself. And it's totally good for it, but you don't have to if you wouldn't like to. And you should only water it with distilled water or reverse osmosis. I have some right here in a little spray can. And every once in a while, I'll just spray the Venus flytrap down like I'm doing right now. And water will not set off any of the traps. So just be aware of that. That water is, if you spray it on it, is not going to do anything bad because water doesn't set off the traps. And so you got to be aware of that. And the brighter green it is, the better. You should water it. You should never let the soil get all the way dry. That is not good for it. It grows in swamps. It's not a tropical plant, so don't keep it in a terrarium. It grows in swamps, so it should get a lot of water, and it should never be completely dry. If it's in a swamp, then it's probably never going to be completely dry, so just be aware of that. And it's a very nice plant, and you should tray water it. Once it's sucked up the water, wait a day or two, and then I tray water it again. That's just my watering schedule. People do different ones. So, next is soil. You should either keep this in sphagnum moss, orchid soil, or peat moss and perlite, or peat moss and garden sand mix. Well, there's a lot of different options you can do of mixes with peat moss. So go ahead and be aware of that. You can find all that stuff on like Amazon if you want to find that. This is orchid soil right down here. It's kind of made up of like wood chucks, but it's nice for this plant. And any soil you use should not have any nutrients or anything like that. And don't use fertilizer on this plant. That is not good for it at all. Because even though those are rich materials that are good for plants, this plant in particular does not grow up where there's rich soil. It grows up where there's poor soil, so you have to be aware of that. Don't put fertilizer in this. Don't spray it with fertilizer. Don't put little fertilizer balls in it. It's not good for it at all. So that's one of the main things. And a Venus flytrap, feeding it, it might not seem like it, but you actually don't really have to feed it because it can catch a lot of bugs on its own. As you can see, a lot of the traps here are actually closed. Some are more buried away than others, so you might not be able to see if they're closed. And that's because they catch food by themselves. You don't really need to feed these plants because, like I said, they will catch things on their own. But every once in a while, if you do want to feed them, you can. Never feed them real food. Always feed them a bug, whereas they will not eat real food. So don't feed one like a hamburger or something. That is not good for them. Those are some basic care tips. I hope your Venus flytrap survives. And the last thing is not get one from Lowe's. I would not recommend getting one from Lowe's. I'd recommend ordering one or getting one from a nursery, because if you get one from Lowe's, it's going to be very unhealthy and the plant is not going to be doing so well. So just be aware of that, because that's really not good for your plant. And if you do get one from Lowe's and you're good at taking care of them, make sure you take that terrarium, because that is basically just a death cube. So don't let that terrarium kill it. Just take the terrarium off. You don't want a terrarium, okay? If you're clear with that, then you could watch some more advanced care tips and stuff. But I will see you later because I have to go. And that was how to take care of a Venus flytrap. These are some basic care tips. I might make more advanced care tips a little bit later, but for now, these are just some basic ones. All right, bye.